Hey friends, it's Hope, and today I'm here to talk to you guys about my top 5 favorite books that I read in 2018. A little recap for you guys on what I read this year. I actually read 20 books, and I think that 7 out of those 20 I rated a 5 out of 5 stars. So for the most part, I really enjoyed the books that I read, but I wanted to talk to you guys about my top 5 favorite ones. Some of them were newer to the year, some of them I'm just like way behind, and so they've been out for forever, but I finally got around to reading them. So yeah, without further ado, in no particular order, let's just go ahead and start talking about all the books. Something a little unique to this as well is all my favorite books of last year. I actually listened to them on audio. So a common theme to my reviews of these books will be that I absolutely love the narrator. So hopefully I don't repeat that too much. But yeah, the first one that I want to talk to you guys about is An American Marriage, and it is a novel by Tayari Jones. Hopefully I didn't butcher that too much. I believe that it was Barack Obama's on his list of his favorite books. Oprah recommended it as well. So I picked this book up going into it with really high expectations. I knew that I was traveling and going to be on a plane, so I checked it out on Overdrive and listened to it, and the narrator, like I said before, was absolutely fantastic. For all these books, I will leave the Goodreads link down below in the description box. That way, if you guys want to check it out further, you totally can. But An American Marriage follows Celestial and Roy, 2 newlyweds, and they are like the embodiment of the New South. But something very tragic happens towards the beginning of their marriage, and it rips them apart. And friends, when I tell you that it was like the most conflicted ending that I've ever read about, I'm not even trying to be dramatic, because either way, my heart I knew was just going to break just because of the circumstances, and you fall in love with all these characters, and it just really puts you through some feels, if you know what I'm talking about. I thought that the Goodreads description did a really great job of portraying what this book is about, and I'm just going to read you a little section of it. It says, as the couple settle into the routine of their life together, they are ripped apart by circumstances neither of them could have imagined. In this depth exploration of love, loyalty, race, justice, and both Black masculinity and Black womanhood in the 21st century, Jones achieves the most elusive of all literary goals. So yeah, friends, I'm sure that you guys have probably heard about this book. I feel like it's been hyped up very recently. If you guys are a fan of audiobooks, highly recommend this one. And I'm probably going to say that for all the other books I talk about, so wow, I'm already repeating myself. The second book that I absolutely adored was Plum Island, and the book is written by Nelson DeMille. So this is definitely more of like your mystery type of read where it follows a detective and there's a murder. And something really cool about this book, and I think for the rest of the books in the series, the location of the novels actually take place in real locations. So this book takes place on Long Island, New York, which I'm very familiar with because that's where my family is from. So it was super cool reading about Plum Island. But what sets this book higher than any of the other mystery novels that I read this year was the main character, John Corey. His wit and enthusiasm about life and that sass that he has, oh my goodness, friends, that's why the audiobook was so special. It just really brought him to life, and you really felt like you were walking in his shoes. This book not only had that gripping mystery, whodunit type story, but it was so funny. The characters were so easy to distinguish between the two. I felt like their voices were really well portrayed, and I would say the last 30% of the book literally had me on the edge of my seat. It was very action-packed. It kept my attention. Love the narrator, and I've already checked out the second book to listen to. If you guys are a fan of mysteries or murder mysteries, I highly recommend. This is a general fiction mystery book, so just be aware if you are a younger reader, there is some violence and some language in this book. Just wanted to put that out there before y'all pick it up. Okay friends, we are totally switching gears because the next book that I absolutely adored, but it was very heart-wrenching, is called A Beautiful Boy, and it's by David Sheff. So this is based off of a true story of David Sheff and his son Nicholas as they are navigating Nick's struggle with meth addiction. And my gosh, the reason why I picked this book up is because I saw the trailer for Beautiful Boy and I bawled. I bawled every single time I watched the trailer. I just thought Steve Carell's performance and how he portrayed that father's love for his son was just so beautiful that I knew I had to read the book. So with that said, this is not a feel-good book. It is very hard-hitting. It's very hard to read at times as well. You are literally being put through the same circumstances at what Nick is going through and then what his father is going through. And what I love the most about how this narrator really portrayed the characters is you really felt like you were in their struggle with them and you were in their victories with them. I love the connection between the father and the son and just that struggle of when do we help and when we don't. If you guys are triggered by drug abuse or self-harm or anything like that, I don't recommend this book. This book really opened up my eyes to drug addiction. Why is it so hard to get out of it? And why as individuals do we participate in things that we know are no good for us or that will lead us down the wrong path? I mean, we do that every single day as humans. Anyways, I actually did a vlog to when I was reading this book entirely, and I can link that video down below if you guys are interested in watching it at all. But if you guys don't read the book, the movie was portrayed very, very well. But like I said, it is very hard-hitting. It's going to make you just feel sick inside pretty much. There's no other way to describe it. But I thought it was a very educational and important read because it also opened my eyes to how I could help people in the future that may be going through the same struggles as Nick. Alright friends, so for all my new adult book lovers out there, I actually have a new adult read for you guys. Until It Fades by K.A. Tucker. I was a huge fan of her 10 Tiny Breaths companion series. So when she came out with this book, I was really intrigued because I love the way that she writes her stories. But honestly guys, this one was the best yet. It follows a single mother and she's just really trying to get through life. She's already trying to overcome adversity and just trying to be the best mom that she can be to her daughter. And of course, one fateful night, she ends up saving someone from an accident, and that someone just happens to be a very well-known and really good-looking hockey player. So she gets caught up in that like whirlwind romance of, okay, hey, I like you, but I need my space and I don't want to be put in the spotlight. Girl, please. We all know how that's going to end up. So while it is very tropey and somewhat predictable, why I loved it so much was how unique the characters were, and I loved the relationship that was portrayed between the mother and the daughter. I am a sucker for likable and relatable characters, and K.A. Tucker delivered. So naturally, I fell in love with the story. And like all the ones that I've talked about before, the audiobook was so good that I literally almost restarted it and listened to it again, and that is very rare that I do that. So yeah, if you guys are big NA fans, I recommend Until It Fades by K.A. Tucker. Alright, so the last book on this list was definitely one that I was very nervous to read because of high expectations that I have for this author and just the anticipation of this book finally coming out. And that book was Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. The Fault in Our Stars is hands down my most read book and my most beloved book, and it is one of my favorite book to movie adaptations. And then I loved Looking for Alaska, and really after reading those two books, I was just kind of disappointed by every single one of John Green's books that he had put out. And there was a ton of hype around Turtles All the Way Down, and we waited years to get it in our hands, but I'm so glad that I ended up picking it up, and just like all the rest, I listened to it on audio. I was so glad that I did that because the narrator that they chose for this book was freaking fantastic. They did such a great job with pulling out those very special, quirky characteristics that John Green writes in his characters. And something that I love the most about this book is that I could not really relate to what these characters were going through. John Green is known for writing those young adult characters that are experiencing their coming of age and dealing with mental health issues, finding your true self and acceptance and friendship and love and all that good jazz. So yeah, I'm just in a different stage in my life. But with all that to say, the narrator did a great job with just like pulling you into the story, allowing you to connect to the characters and following them through their coming of age journey. I do remember Aza, I think that's how you pronounce her name, the main character of this book, giving me like Hazel vibes from The Fault in Our Stars, and I wasn't mad about that at all. I just loved her sense of humor, her independence, her wit, and how she was just like ready to just get stuff done. What also stood out to me is I thought John Green did a great job at portraying the journey and the struggle with mental health and how that plays a toll on the person and the people around them as well. It was just a really impactful book, and I really enjoyed it. If you're not familiar with Turtles All the Way Down, it follows a teenage girl named Aza as she is on a quest to solve this murder mystery of a billionaire in town. And of course, as she starts investigating with her best friend, she meets a boy named Davis, and the story just really progresses from there. And yeah, just like Beautiful Boy, Turtles All the Way Down was very eye-opening to some areas of life that I'm not all too familiar with. Alright friends, well that does it for my top 5 books of 2018. I can't wait to hear what you guys absolutely loved last year. Let me know down below in the comments what your favorite books were in 2018. Did you read any of the ones that I listed? What were your thoughts? And if not, all 5 of these books, like I said, absolutely adored. If you love audiobooks, highly recommend them on audio. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And like always, I'm sure I will see you soon. Bye.